Welcome to the Expert in You Showcase, the show where we bring you quick, powerful conversations with elite entrepreneurs and other professional business experts to share their best strategies, secrets, and tips to help you have more success in your business and life. I'm your host, Ann Carden, and this show is brought to you by Expert in You, where we empower professional entrepreneurs, business owners, and experts to become influential figures and celebrities in their markets and add 6 to 7 figures with more ease. Discover a game-changing secret that attracts leads, qualifies them effortlessly, warms them up for your offer, and hands them over ready to say yes. We want to make closing deals for you a breeze. It's time to stop chasing clients and consistently fill your calendar with highly qualified conversations and sales opportunities every month. Increase your influence, impact, and accelerate your income and strategies that work. Book your business accelerator call with me now at acarden.com and let's map out your next step. I have a powerhouse of a guest with me today, and I'm really excited to dive into this conversation with her. We probably will geek out on what we talk about because we both coach business and we both really get into the financial side of business. But I have Marie Tarosian with me today, and she is a CPA. She also does CFO services, but she has a CPA firm, and she is a 10X certified elite business coach. So Marie, welcome to my show.
Thanks for having me, Ann. I'm super excited to be here.
Well, we are both passionate about business, about helping people have more success in their business. So you're looking at her now on video, and she does not look like a typical CPA. And we were actually discussing that before we started this show. And tell everyone kind of how you got to where you are now and also what you're doing with the business coaching.
Absolutely. So a little bit of background is I studied, accounting, and I got my bachelor's and master's in that. And then I got into getting my license. I went through, did 2.5, 3 years almost of auditing, and then went into the private sector as a accounting manager, worked my way up to CFO. In 2016, I started getting that feel for entrepreneurship, the pull, and I was like, I felt there was no more place for me to learn and grow. And at the time, I didn't realize what I was lacking was a true mentor. And so I did step out because I grew up in business. My dad had a small business back in our country. So I was always working in the business. I knew where things were going. And when I felt that kind of a stuck place, it felt uncomfortable. I'm like, this is not where I want to be. So, of course, I tried to go out on my own. And I think a lot of people do that. And then they fail and come back. Same as what I did. I felt like I couldn't find clients. I wasn't really sure what to do. I knew exactly what to do, financially, but I wasn't sure what to do to get clients. So marketing sales, as most people might be aware, is that for CPAs, that is not our training at all.
Right.
We're not trained in business. We are trained in how to do financials and taxes.
Right.
But again, knowing from a business world, I figured, what I learned from my dad, that there was something lacking. So I got a little bit fearful. I went back to my position as a CFO. Sure enough, as soon as the 2 months hit, I was like, oh, I made the worst kind of mistake.
Oh,
so this is where I think a lot of people be like, they focus on the failures or something that appears to be a failure, but it's a decision. It's an opportunity to realize something. But to come back to the story, so I stuck around for the full year. In the meantime, I got pregnant for the second time, and once I gave birth to my daughter, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go all in and just figure it out as I go.
Yeah.
I had a few consulting gigs. I was able to help a handful of people. And in 2020, as my clients were constantly asking me, hey, we need help with taxes. I'm like, well, I don't do taxes, but I found a good collaborative partner, a CPA that has a firm. So we collaborated. He does the taxes. I do the accounting and financial advisory. And my CPA firm was born at that time. But again, the problems still remain. I don't know how to get clients. So I don't know marketing. I hired different people that couldn't really understand the CPA world and the different areas of focus we have. So I decided to join Grant Cardone with the 10X Accelerator program, becoming his student. I'm an implementer. That's one of the things I feel like it's so unique about me. If I'm learning something, I stop and implement. Implemented all of that. once that was finished in early 2022, I was like, I need to bring this information to more businesses and
Mm,
specifically other CPAs, because that is an
yes.
area that we are not trained, and how different our CPA firms would operate
Hmm.
had we known all this information on marketing, sales process, how our mindset should be different to
Hmm.
actually build a business and grow a business. So that's how I came about to becoming a 10X certified elite coach and a CPA.
I love it. So, one of the things, Marie, first of all, what you mentioned your country, where are you actually from? Because I hear your accent in there, and I know you're in Miami, Florida now, but where were you originally from?
Yes, I'm originally from Lebanon. My background is
Okay.
Armenian, but my family pretty much all the way back to like grandparents are born and
Hmm.
raised in Lebanon.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So I love that you really kind of discovered that the marketing and sales was not your jam
Hmm.
because, and so many CPAs, I actually have worked with a lot of business coaches that are trying to coach CPAs, and they struggle with CPAs getting them to really be growth minded, to really get them
Mm,
to want to think bigger about their business. So many of them just want to have a job or they only want to do taxes, and you've
right.
branched out and you have expanded your business and now you're business coaching, which to me is the most sensible uh, complementary thing that you could
Right.
do in your business, right? I always say build out with something that complements your core business.
Absolutely.
And so I love that you've done that. So tell everyone really what is the structure. You want to talk more about the business coaching. What is sort of the structure of the program that you have with Grant? Like, what is it you actually do with people?
Yes. So as part of the 10X coaching program, obviously we have all of the material that Grant has from the online sales training. So we can expand into corporate training. It could be one-on-one coaching, or it could be a mentoring, let's say one-to-many kind of group mentoring. The structure is we always start with a specific business assessment. It's not only the
Mm-hmm.
business as a whole, but also the leader and their skill set. We look
Mm-hmm.
at how do they learn? Because one of the key things is if I keep saying something, but the person needs to see it more visual, more picturesque, than if
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to explain or communicate in the wrong way, they're not going to get it. It's going to take longer to achieve goals. So there's another assessment. So there's a handful of assessments that we'll go through based on what level they're at. If they have a team, there's an expanded assessment for that. Usually, once we sit down after those assessments are completed, it's a an hour and a half to 2 hour initial meeting where we're
Mm-hmm.
literally reviewing all the different answers. So I usually come about already ready with the key areas I want to kind of group in and focus, and that's the areas that they are self-identifying as challenges. So we
Mm-hmm.
want to go in there and take a few of those challenges, say, okay, let's break it down. We can solve everything today. We can't solve everything in the next 90 days. But what about if we break the whole year of things that we want to work on, break it down by 90 days, set specific goals and measurable how we're going to measure them for
Mm-hmm.
success. So
Mm-hmm.
that way, all of these challenges slowly actually start being solved, and the person starts gaining new skill sets, and they're able to grow their business and actually help their team actually grow as well.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So, what made you decide on Grant's program when you decided to
Mm,
go into the business coaching aspect?
yes, that's a great question. And the story is,
And I love Grant, by the way. I followed him for years. I've done some of his things, and I love him. I think he's amazing.
yes, the way I found Grant. Let's start from there. Is so when I started my firm in 2020, I had already been doing some consulting a bit, and I realized, I need a mentor. There's so much information
Mm-hmm.
I'm missing. I saw on Facebook one of his webinars, and
Mm.
this man, as you know, he'll say an hour webinar, he'll give you 3 hours of value,
Right,
and
right.
it's free. Um, and so I did his wealth creation formula webinar, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the first time as a person who had spent over, I don't know, 35, $40,000 to get my bachelor's and master's, and then hours of training to get my CPA. That
Mm-hmm.
was information never taught to me, and the seven levels of revenues that you have to create
Mm-hmm.
to be able to start building your wealth was not something that was taught to me in college or in my
Mm-hmm.
experience as an auditor. And that literally blew my mind. I'm like, man, I just learned so many things in just the
Mm-hmm.
first hour. I'm like, this man is just giving value. And so my next step was, of course, they always ask for, come join us, train with us. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get his training and I'm going to start learning. I see how he can teach me. And the
Mm-hmm.
biggest connector for me was that he had done accounting. His background is a bachelor's in accounting. He did go
Mm.
into accounting. I'm like, man, if this man was in accounting and he can sell like this, I can do it too.
Yeah.
And that was the motivator for me. So, okay, I'm going to try it. And sure enough, every training I was doing on Cardone University was helping me see things in such a different way. My
Mm-hmm.
mindset was shifting. I was starting to put little processes and trying different things that I was learning. Then I invested in his full accelerator program, in his platinum accelerator program. And it's like literally going to college. That's how it's priced.
Yeah.
But I was happy because I was getting the information that I was lacking, which was in marketing,
Right.
sales, and money mindset, which I was truly lacking. So with every workshop, every training, every webinar, every mentor call, I was capturing another data that I was
Mm-hmm.
missing. So then in 2022, it became a no-brainer. I finished the accelerator program. I wanted to invest in becoming a 10x coach because I wanted to bring that information to more business owners, my
Mm-hmm.
CPA accounting clients, and specifically fellow CPAs, and which is what I'm focusing on as well.
Yes, so good. First of all, do you niche yourself for the business coaching side? Do you niche working with CPA firms or with CPA in
So the way,
particular?
not necessarily, for example, on my
Okay.
website, it just talks about business as a whole, but
Mm-hmm.
I have been working specifically with, let's say, our Florida Institute of CPA. So I was a
Mm-hmm.
member. I've been in the chapter. I started shifting a lot of my CPE credit trainings
Mm-hmm.
into grants material and bringing a lot of sales and marketing. And what I started noticing is like those CPAs, and here's a clue that maybe some business owners don't realize, but for most CPAs, if they're already about 55 and higher, that means their firm is doing well. They've been around for a
Mm-hmm.
while. They're not as interested in growth. They're interested in maintenance and possible
Mm-hmm.
sell in a few years because
Mm-hmm.
they don't have the energy or the people to do it.
Right.
If they are more, say, somewhere between their 30s to early 50s, when
Mm-hmm.
I provide that information in that, let's say, CPE training, they're just like, my goodness, that is amazing. I did not know that. This is so
Right.
they take so much from it because they're still in that growth phase. They're still figuring
Mm-hmm.
out what they need. So it becomes very clear. So I expanded my reach through the CPA Society or Florida
Mm-hmm.
CPA Society. And actually, I'll be doing my in-person workshop at one of their biggest conferences this year. Two of them, I'm going to be speaking at two conferences. But
That's great.
that's like constantly giving and being there and providing that value
Mm-hmm.
to be able to
Yeah.
get there. So I don't necessarily promote. I'm only coaching CPAs because it's not
Mm-hmm.
where it's a grants program is open to everyone.
Right.
But I have a specific way I'm working to reach CPAs.
I love it. No, I mean that's a great strategy too. And the fact that when I always say, be the person at the front of the room, right? Be the person on the stage. It makes it so much easier to build that credibility with them because
Absolutely.
they're kind of a hard nut to crack, right? I love CPAs, nothing against them. I partnered with many of them.
Of
But
course.
they are very analytical in the way they think
Yes.
about things. And so you really have to kind of crack through that and
Yes.
get to, like you talked about 30 to 50. I think one of the differences probably in the marketplace today is because of the internet and everything that people see now, they
Right.
know what's possible. Whereas if you talk about like the older CPAs, they probably were stuck sort of in their business behind their desk
Right.
doing the work and they weren't as
Yes.
exposed. And I think the younger generation is more exposed to the Grant
Absolutely.
Cardones and the people knowing, hey, you can make millions of dollars if you want to make millions of dollars and become a multimillionaire by the time you're 30, right? I mean, you
Right.
can do it. And
You can
so,
do it.
yeah, I love it.
Hi, friend. I have an exciting announcement. I hope you're enjoying this episode of Expert in You podcast, but I have to ask you, have you checked out the latest issue of Expert in You magazine yet? It's jam-packed with rich content, powerful strategies, inspiring stories, and so much more to help you elevate your business and personal growth. Don't miss out. Go grab your digital copy now and join our community of experts making a difference every day. Go to expertinyoumagazine.com and check out your digital copy today. Transform your expertise into success with Expert in You magazine. It's not just a publication, it is a movement.
So first of all, so you're getting clients specifically like through speaking. What other ways are you getting clients? I love for people to be able to see behind the curtain of businesses.
Absolutely. And then I'll switch back and forth. I mean, for example, with the business coaching, I also coach Grant's clients, and that's why I'm executive elite coach. So basically, Grant would send me a client, say, hey, this client needs this, and basically I'll coach them. On the other side, how do we in general take clients? So let's go back to, let's say, for my accounting business, which I was, back in 2020, I didn't know how to get anyone. I think LinkedIn, I got random clients like that. But I would say, and people overlook this, and CPAs don't do it at all, is referrals, asking for referrals. Simple. And it's so funny, every time I'm coaching a client, they come with just an idea. They're like, oh, I'm going to start doing Facebook ads. I'm like, you don't even exist. They don't even know you. Right. You don't exist. You haven't done any content. You haven't proven yourself. You're going to send them to a page that has nothing on it. Who's going to build trust? So that's money wasted. And I actually did that without realizing either. And that's where a business coach will be able to guide the right way. This is not the right time. You start doing ads when you've built enough content and you have enough following that now those people will grab more.
Right.
So yeah, it's very, very specific approach for the marketing that I do. I started building my pages back in when I first started, 2017, 18, that time frame. And I was posting random stuff. I didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't know. I was looking at others. They were doing a theme every day, but it wasn't capturing the clients. Like, it's not. And I'm thinking, man, I just keep creating. All my time is going out the door.
Yeah, there is all that out there.
All of this stuff, content creation, design, and I'm great at it, but I'm like, nobody's clicking, nothing, because you're not talking to the problem that they have. And I did not know that. But what the point I wanted to make is that, but over time, as you start posting the right type of content, the content that is actually educational and it solves a problem and it gets them to think a little bit, and you build that over time, that's going to get attraction. But the highest level of getting clients, as we all know, is like referral from your current happy clients. One of my recommendations always would be like, how many people do you have on your list? Who are your power network? Who's on your power network can refer you to people? Because that's the fastest way for someone who has nothing, no content, no pages, is to get a couple of clients to start with. Right. It's a quick win. And most people are, surprisingly, they tell me, I don't want to call any family members. I'm like, why? Isn't that weird? Like they all say that to me. Yes. But I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, who else? I mean, there's a lot of your power network. There's your family, friends. There's your, let's say, some vendors that might you use, some maybe other clients you might have, your church, your kids' school, PTA, anyone. You have a lot of different groups. If you go through your phone and then look at the last 100 people you texted, who are they? Make a list and then reach out to them again and tell them what you're doing.
Yeah, you can't build in a vacuum, right?
Exactly.
No, it's so true. It's so funny because as I help people build their business and build their influence and bring in high-end clients, one of the things I hear all the time is, I don't want to use my Facebook page for business. Are you kidding me? Why? It's a free resource. Why would you? Do you know what I used to pay for ads when I was building businesses for many years? And it was so expensive. And now all of this stuff is at our disposal. And I'm like, are you crazy? Like, this is free stuff. So I love that you're talking about this. So do you partner with CPAs to kind of coach some of their clients, or have you done that? Or
that's the aim, is to have either a collaboration with other CPAs that have their clients. But some of the hardship with working with CPAs is that some of them are not understanding what business coaching is. So unless they know and experience, it's going to be hard for them to get you into their clients. Yeah. And that's why my approach with them has not been necessarily Facebook or other stuff. Each client niche is a somewhat of a different strategy. So for CPAs, it's very specific to reaching out through other CPA conferences and local chambers, or I don't use chambers so much, but local business networking. That's how I reach out to them. But for general business, it's on my LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, direct messages, Facebook groups, anything and everything, and of course my email marketing. I remember the time where I used to do one newsletter a month. And then right now, I think we send about 3 emails a day. And most people would be like, that's too much. But Brent always says, just send them, because one of those emails is going to resonate with someone.
And if they don't want to be on your
If you
list,
don't,
they'll opt out. That's right. That's what
they
that button is
unsubscribe.
for.
But then, and there's other strategies to get them back, but that's it.
Yeah. So you're getting ready to speak at a couple of conferences. What are your topics? What are your titles?
Yes. So one of the topics is finalized. The other one, we're still working on it. So the topic is how to leverage or optimize customer relationship management for accountants, CPAs, and bookkeepers. And as part of what I do under the Profit Lab, I'm creating some kind of an marketing agency type thing. And so it's basically related to not only educating CPAs on what they're not doing from a marketing standpoint, from using a CRM with all of the different automations that they could leverage, especially if they're small. And then, of course, if they want the extra help, we have a full agency built model on Go High Level. So I could actually support them if they need it. But the idea is that they need that information because they're lacking that information. I've seen a couple of people show up, teach them general marketing, but not really get into the automation of like, what are the results of these things? Why is automation important? Why could email campaigns on an automated way with the tagging would be important for them? Because they don't have to do everything.
Right.
It's almost done for them.
Are you offering any kind of done for you services for them then? Or is everything kind of done with you?
Most of it would be, I think, for CPAs, and we do have different plans, but I think for CPAs, most of them will probably require more of a hands-on, someone that could do it for them. Because if they are very much on their, the left side of the brain, like very finance focused, it's going to be very hard for them to switch and do it themselves. They need someone to help. But I think giving them first the education of what is possible, and then allowing them to make the decision, yes, I really want to grow my firm and I really want to get some of these automations done, but I don't want to do it myself. Then the service is available. Or if they are a bigger firm and they have maybe a couple of people and they just need some of these automations to help them move the ladder, let's say move past what they're stuck at, then we can just support them with general coaching and then advise their team members what are the next things they should be implementing.
Okay.
So it could go either way based on where they're at.
Do you do anything to create your own stage? Like, do you do your own events to pull the right people into be able to sell your services, or is it mostly you going out and speaking?
Yes, I have done some podcasting myself, like doing a show. I actually had a couple at some point, and I do some webinars, here and there. But I've noticed at this stage of my business growth, I need to be on other people's stages. And again, it's a strategy, right? So it's which strategy is going to work for you at a specific time. So I will probably come back and do that perhaps end of this year or early next year to bring back my podcast and be able to do a lot more consistent webinars. But because I have access to audiences already through my collaborative partners, let's say, so I'm leveraging that first.
Yeah, no,
and I highly recommend people to do that, because when some of my clients, let's say they're just writing a book and they're trying to get the word out. Okay, that's a great way to actually get on other people's stages and be able to talk about the book and talk about some of the key things they can learn from the book. And here it is. You got a funnel. You can sell that book, $30, 100 people buy it. There you go, $3,000.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been so great. So how do you package your services? Do you sell year-long programs, 90-day? Like how do you sell?
Yeah. Both accounting and coaching in both companies, everything is package services, because we want to bring it from a value perspective. From the accounting side, everything is on an engagement letter. It's an ongoing service, unless they
Mhm.
change or upgrade or say they need more services. On the coaching side, it's we have 3 month, 6 month, and 12-month program, and we do have
Mhm.
different programs between if someone's starting out versus someone who's a little bit more established and needs a lot more operational and finance support on that coaching.
Right.
So there's the different combination of packages that we have.
Excellent. So what final thoughts? What would you like to share with someone for them to take away today? You shared a lot of good gold nuggets in here. Go out, find partnerships. So those are really fast ways to build. Anything else that we didn't cover that you would like to just share?
Yeah, I want to cover very high level concepts, which I learned from Grant, is marketing is senior to sales. And before that though, service is senior to sales as well. So, and what I mean by that, most of us start a business with like the product in mind and how we're going to solve the problem, which is fine, but we don't talk about it enough. So one of the things Grant always talks about is like, you're writing a book, start talking about it before the book is finished. Why are you waiting until the book is finished? So it's the same idea. You have an idea, you want to start a business, but you're not even talking about it. You have no Facebook page, you have nothing. Nobody knows that you're doing that. Talk about it, start build the momentum. So marketing senior to sales. From a very service and product-based, let's say, company, a lot of times they rely on the product again. But when you're trying to demand a higher value price, and you help people bring in high value clients, they're looking for what? They're looking for just the product to solve the solution, or they want to be able to have a top-notch service.
Right.
So
they're looking
already,
for a trusted partner. They're looking,
They want to be able to reach out to you and be able to ask a question and not be nickel and dime for everything.
Yes.
So when you value that and you create a value package and you serve them, not just once they, pay for it, but the sales process that you're putting them with, how are they feeling throughout the whole process is going to be a big game changer. And of course, once you sell, that's very transactional. It moves on, but that's why marketing and then service and then sales. And then once the sales happen, you just need to repeat that process of continuing that trust. And that's going to be I believe is the success formula to able to grow your business.
Awesome. What's your big goal for 2025?
2025. So it's a pretty big goal. I'm not going to give the number, but I put a very crazy number out there. But so very highly focused for my CPA firm to get that to the next level. We are looking to onboard 20 to 25 accounting, CFO advisory clients. Who are they? They are those who are already getting to the $2 to $3 million in gross sales. That means they're going to be at that first tipping point, and they're going to start needing the right type of people, the right type of policy structure. So it's not just the accounting, but it's like, where are we going? How are we forecasting?
Right.
On the coaching side, my goal is to onboard 300 group coaching clients, which I haven't done before. But again, it's a 10x crazy goal, and that's how we roll.
Wow. 300 group coaching.
It's a crazy goal.
Now, do you put all of them in one group, or do you break up those groups?
I would think I would like to break them up because I think they'll get a higher value, let's say from a small 25 to 30 people in a group versus 300 people in one group, and only maybe 10 people can ask a question. And I don't like that. I want everybody to get a chance to have that high value touch point, even though it's a group.
And what's going to be the greatest challenge for you to be able to do that, make that happen?
The greatest challenge would be if I don't take enough action. And the reason I say that, every time I'm coaching people, they always say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, they put all these great goals. And then every week that they show up and they're like, oh, I did only 3 of the homework.
Or they have excuses,
Like they have so many piles of excuses. So, but the way I do that for me is not that because I already have high accountability to myself. My team can hold me accountable because my team knows where we're going in a full vision. It's a small team, but we do a daily Cardone University training. We are always on the same mindset. We're shifting mindset for those who just joined us. So that way, we track stats every day. Everybody's putting their stats, how many financial statements did we send? How many coaching clients did we help? All of that all the stats are being tracked. So there's a way for them to even hold me accountable. And I think most leaders are afraid of that.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, so good. This has been great, Marie. Thank you so much for being so transparent and sharing all this. This is so valuable for people. I love for them to be able to see different ways people are running their businesses, operating their businesses, as well as learn exactly what you're a genius at, what you're brilliant at. So this
Thank
has
you,
been
Ann.
great. Thank you so much for being here. And we will put all of her contact information in the show notes so you'll be able to reach out to her. And she's on LinkedIn, which is where I connected with her.
Yes.
So, yeah, so make sure you connect with her. And let me just wrap it up and say thanks so much for tuning in to Expert in You Showcase. All right, everyone. Thank you again for being here. Make sure you like the show, subscribe to the show, and share the show. Have an amazing day. Go rock your business, and God bless you all. Bye bye.
If you are ready to attract high paying clients like clockwork, build powerful influence and scale your business with ease, let's talk. Book a complimentary $1 Million Accelerator Strategy call at acarden.com to discover how the Expert in You method can help you create a steady stream of premium clients and consistent revenue growth. Don't wait. Your next big breakthrough starts with a simple conversation. Visit acarden.com and let's make it happen. Have an amazing day and God bless you.